What's good? Welcome to First Stream Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you download the Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. On today's episode of First Stream Podcast, the Commanders part ways with Sam Mills. We'll we'll see what was going on there. Try to break this all down for us. Jeff Scanini is the new defensive line coach. We'll figure out who he is and what he brings to that D-line group. And the unofficial depth charts are out. Who is on the whoa list? That's what we're going to find out today. Plus, we got our picks in Major League Baseball. And did I mention Thursday, we got some NFL games. Let's go. Let's get right into this. Welcome to First Stream Podcast. Again, we are presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you download the Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the First Stream Podcast. Hit the notification button, so strike that bell to enable alert for new content, just like we have going on right now. And don't forget the following day, we are also on anywhere you can find an audio podcast. Now it's time to bring the squad in here. What's good, Blake? How you doing?
What's good, man? Another day, another couple of dollars.
A couple of dollars. Let's bring in Ant. What's up, man? No. Polly.
Bro, this ain't
the
damn dating game, bro.
Hit the gong. Hit the
gong. Entertain that, bro. He on here for the wrong reasons.
I was married, Polly.
Look, I was getting ready to say, bro, you taking already anyway. You got it. I know you trying to keep the fire in the relationship, bro. But that's a lot of singing you doing.
Hey, Polly, give me one of these right here, bro. Give me one of them. Come on, man.
Huh? Hey, man, I don't do that upon request. Hell to the W, baby.
Now we got Polly.
Hey, Saxwell down there just threw me all off. You know what I mean? Saxwell.
Hey, pause.
Welcome back to the First Name Podcast, man. Listen, we had to take a impromptu. We went to Vegas. Let me tell you, man. Okay, so I got to let y'all know, quality time with the spouses, everything is really, really important. But the funniest thing I ever heard was my wife said, "You tried to walk my feet off me in Vegas." She didn't know the strip was that long. But boy, oh boy, did she learn.
Yes,
the strip is pretty long. So yeah, the funniest
Come on,
thing
impromptu. Now you gotta walk.
Gotta walk. Bruce Glass in the building. First in the building today was good, Bruce. And then we got Kyle saying, "What's up?" The only way he know how to, 28-3. That's for you, said. That's good. And then we got Ant jumping in saying, "What's up to everybody?" Hawk TV's in the building.
Harlem Shake
Hawk. Put him in the closet. We got Rockman in the building. What's good, man? Hawk. First strings in the building, Rockman's in the building, laughing at Ant. That's what he always do. My main man, Sheepdog is in the building. Oh, God, Warren, what's good? He's Steelers fan from DC. Yes.
Shout out to the Steelers, man.
Shout out to the Steelers. We're gonna see a little bit.
Man, hey, that's my cousins. They're my cousins.
Yeah, they're my
cousins. All my homies, they like the Steelers, so they're my cousins. That's the only other paraphernalia I got up in my house is Steelers paraphernalia, man. I ain't got no problem with them.
Hey, this right here is something we do have to talk about. So while in Vegas, I saw some over-unders on some college prep props and everything like that. Notre Dame is at 11 wins. Would you take the over or the under on Notre Dame, you two?
I got to look at their schedule.
Where's Ohio State at, man? Don't come up here and try to throw the Notre Dame up, man.
Ohio State's at 11.
Are you taking the over under on Ohio State?
Hey, I'm taking the over. I'm taking them right at 11. Really, right at 11 because they can lose one. They got
you can't take it right at 11.
Well,
it's 11 and what?
I would take the over for them. I would take the over.
I'm gonna take it right at 11.
Yeah, but I don't see them losing 10 because that kicks them out of the playoffs, and I think they make the playoffs this year. So, Linda's in the building.
I got Notre Dame over 11. We got a returning quarterback.
You got him over 11.
Who was pretty good last year.
Okay, Ant, what you got, man?
I got us as one of the final 4 teams at the end of the year, so you can fill in the rest.
All right.
What are 13 games?
Y'all got the same offensive coordinator?
They got 12.
We got the whole staff coming back.
The same offensive coordinator?
We got the whole staff coming back.
The head coach ain't there.
The head coach, that's the only
The head coach is coming back. What you talking about?
No. Y'all got a new head coach.
Notre Dame.
No, I'm talking about he coached the last what? He coached the bowl game.
The bowl game.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, okay, but he was the defensive coordinator. It wasn't like he was some new guy in the building. It was his defense.
How much is the staff is coming?
What I'm saying is, the offensive coordinator stayed. He ain't go with him. He ain't go with him. And I just said, you're not listening. I said, the whole staff came back. The staff came back.
That was before. I'm talking about the head coach, the defensive coordinator, not the head coach. Then you listen, man. You know what? Guess what? Buddy Ryan wasn't the head coach of the 85 Bears, but them dudes loved him like he was. He was the defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator, bro. He was.
They didn't get brought a coach in from another system or another school. He was right there.
Brian Kelly couldn't get us over the hump, so it's not
y'all not going undefeated. I'm just letting y'all know y'all not going.
You know what I'm saying?
He's in Georgia.
He said
11. He's in Georgia.
But that's what we get to. That's what we get to.
One and done, son.
That's what we get to. So
one and done, son.
Georgia's at 11. Georgia's at 11.
Wins.
One and done, son.
Hey, Georgia's at 11.
One and done, son. My fault, you know. I just can't let this slide like this. He gritted too hard because he got trophy at home. We know you got the trophy at home, bro. All right. We know you got the trophy at home. We know this.
I already made my call for Georgia. Pick a team.
We know. We know.
I'm not high.
We know this.
Go ahead, Pick.
One and done.
Well, I put my money at Pick. Go ahead and tell him.
One and done.
Sayer put it on 10. He said the under.
I said the under. I don't think they're going to win over the game. They may be undefeated. And I think they're going to lose at least 2.
Yeah, okay.
I hope it's only 1, but I think it's going to be at least 2.
Well, okay. Like I said, one and done, son. I don't care what you trying to up here trying to take me out.
Notre Dame not getting there. That's all we need to know.
No, you said Notre Dame getting where? Notre Dame getting where?
You need to just mind your business, you know.
One and done, son.
Worry about your puppy dogs, man.
One and done, son.
Irish got going on.
They're only gonna win 2 games. They're only gonna lose 2 games. Oh, they ain't gonna. But I bet you be crying them 2 games they lose though.
Hey, listen. Hey, Cal said after the season, Notre Dame will be in the Big Ten.
Oh,
for what?
He said
I don't know. I know come September, Notre Dame is still independent. It come January, they'll be in the Final Four. I know that much.
2 facts.
Can't wait.
Hey, listen, that's 2 facts.
In a couple of days, we will have preseason football. We got our picks for our 2 Thursday night games: the New York Giants versus the Giants play the Patriots on at 6 o'clock on 7 o'clock y'all time on Thursday, and then that'll be followed.
It's gonna be a long winter
by Tennessee and the Ravens. So we're gonna get those picks in for you here in a couple of minutes, as well as 2 baseball games for you. But the big news coming out of Commanders camp today was a switch.
There was no switch. Somebody got fired.
The relieving of Sam Mills III.
Yeah. Hold up. Hey, bro. How you get fired on your day off?
Hey, coming back from your dad, making it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
How you get fired on your day off, man?
What?
They said they had him on camera stealing boxes and shit.
What are you trying to
do? They ain't got me on tape. They say they do.
You too bad to be building the clubhouse.
Hey, did we ever talk about how horrible an argument he made for himself not stealing boxes? They got me on tape. They do though. Like what?
They do.
Anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. Big news today. It's in fact my birthday. Happy birthday, Linda. What's good? Happy birthday. I would have Ant sing to you, but Paulie told him, don't you ever do that again. So
go ahead. Saxwell could go.
Oh, snap. I thought I was putting this in the chat.
Don't text me happy birthday to Linda.
Yeah. Hey, don't be put me on blast either. I'm trying to show love to Linda, man. Don't be doing that. Yeah, man.
So happy birthday, Linda.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Linda.
Okay, there, I got that in there. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, he got fired after his father made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And it was a difference in philosophies. I don't know, man. We these things should happen when in the off season, right? So then that way everything can start to line up and things like that. Well, players get cut, but is this the first time y'all heard about a coach being fired like right before the season start? You know what I mean? Right before a playoff game?
It's not the first time.
I don't know. I don't. But I don't. I was thinking the same thing. Literally, I was like, well, why would I understand you're gonna be cutting players, but if there's one thing you want, it's a solid coaching staff that's consistent. Right. Now, albeit you guys have strengths all up and down your defensive front. Now, that speaks more so to the talent than the actual coaching staff, because a lot of the time y'all complaining about how they don't scheme these guys right. So that's the first thing. So it makes me think, what else are you guys gonna do? Because it's already a lot going on from the top down, So it's just a lot going on with that. I don't know. It's not new, but coming out of Washington, it don't sound like good news.
Well, say it. But it's bad because it's so close to this. Y'all are going to play your first preseason game, and you have to change your ear tone to listen to a different person right before the beginning. But on the backside of it is it's still preseason. It's still early enough for them to get into adjusting to the philosophy of the person who's taking his position, to adjust to what he's doing, adjust to what he likes to do, to make sure it fits in with the defensive scheme you're trying to run.
Yeah, let me say this, man. Yep. This was a long time coming, bro. Since this dude that had this job from day one, there's been problems. You know what I mean? He's kind of part of the reason why Ioannidis ain't here. You know what I mean? He could be part of the reason why Tim Settles didn't re-sign back with us. You know what I mean? And I got to shout my man out on the warpath, my man Corey. You know what I mean? For that little tidbit. You know what I mean? We was talking about that earlier. You know what I mean? And it's always been, it hasn't been a secret that there's been problems on the line in the meeting room between the coaches, between that coach and the players. So it wasn't philosophy had nothing to do with strategic or technique. I just think that maybe he was in over his head as being a position coach, and he didn't know how to relate to the players the way grown men want to be related to.
Hey, now, that was what I was about to lead everybody to.
And this goes back to also what you were just saying earlier. We was talking about Notre Dame. Well, the guy that replaces him, he's been on the staff. You know what I mean? So what they teaching and what they want, it's going to be the same concepts and the same things. It's just another guy's going to have a different way to get a message across to the players to want to move forward to what they want them to do. That's all it is, in my opinion.
True. Right. I was going to say that could be a good thing, because if he's going deaf in the room, sometimes that's the shot in the arm that you need, especially when you already have a talented group of guys. You know what I'm saying? That could be like a nice little shot in the arm. So I guess time will tell.
So what it seems like to me now is a lot of these coaches have really, really good relationships, communicate really well with their guys. Do y'all think that could be the problem, Paulie? I think you did really allude to this, man. Like, that's really what it is he's not relating to the guys in his room. Because, hey, I guarantee you this: if you watch Hard Knocks with Detroit, at some point in time, you're gonna see these coaches and their players interact and watch how they interact. it's almost like a big brother type deal. But when it's time to work, it's really time to work, and you listening to me. You know what I mean? So, do y'all think that's part of it too? It's like he just had no relationships with the guys in the room.
I don't know. I wasn't in the room, but what I'm thinking is, I don't think it had to really do with relationships. I'm just thinking maybe it's the way he's communicating with these people. You know what I mean? Communication is communication is everything. I heard Chris Cooley say this a couple years ago on the radio about the players, and it's so true. It's not even about, it ain't even just in players. It's everyday life now. You know, even with kids. We grew up in a time where an adult told you something or a coach told you something, you didn't question it. Right. You tell these players something now, you tell these kids something now, the first question is why. They want to know why. And sometimes it's not even in a malicious way. Right. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that they need to know why before they can understand what they're about to attempt to do or what the task at hand is. Right. To be convinced to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So maybe he just wasn't getting that point across in his communication, and it just came to a head. Pause. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, this is not a big secret about problems in the D-line. You know, in the D-line room. Look, come on, we had a fight on the sideline last year. Now I know that might have had nothing to do with him, but clearly he was in one player's face and ignoring another. And I'm talking about Mills when that stuff was going down. You know what I mean? So it definitely was a problem going on.
And for comment, Corey over here, in general, if you got changes on your coaching staff, that is not a good deal. But in this instance, it possibly can be good if it's a voice that guys can resonate with. That's what it was, Corey.
Let me say one more thing too. But now we're on not a slippery slope, but you done got rid of a guy on your defensive staff. Somebody, you know, is he being made out of scapegoat? Because that's not the guy most people are calling for. Most of us are calling for Jack Del Rio. And you know, like I know, when the head coach started letting assistants go, he's doing that for a reason.
Yeah. Well, Sheepdog says
number one, so his job ain't in jeopardy.
Right. Sheepdog said, hold up. The fired a guy that worked for Rivera for 7 years, Carolina. He said, explain that one, Will. He said, therefore, the difference in philosophy doesn't make sense. Well, we know that, but we're going to come back to this here in a second because we are at 15 after, and we got to get some picks in. So let's get ready to play a little bit of Who You Got. And we're going to start this off with some afternoon, late night baseball. First, we got the New York Giants versus the San Diego Padres. Here is the Giants line. Their win line is plus 150. Their run line is plus 1.5 at minus 150. The Padres win line is minus 186. Their run line is minus the 1.5 at plus 123. We got an over under at 7.5. The over is minus 106. The under is minus 118. Say it. Who you got?
The interesting thing about this is San Diego. Juan Soto has been struggling a little bit since the change over to this team. It's like he's not comfortable just yet.
Yeah, they played the Dodgers.
So they played a game before they played the Dodgers as well, but he still didn't do very well. But he's going to have to show up if they're going to make a run to make it to the wild card position because they're pretty close from where they are. The Giants are just the Giants. I'm gonna go with San Diego. You know what? Forget that. They've been struggling. Give me the Giants to win with a plus 150, and I'm gonna take that under with the. I'm gonna take the under on the runs.
Hey Corey, I know you in the chat, man. Go ahead and tell say he's not making no sense.
We're gonna see. All right, never mind. I'm gonna go here. But nah, I'll say this: the best thing about the trade is it happened right fresh into the new half, the second half. Right. He's gonna have to get time to adjust, as well as that team. I'm buying in on them making a push, not at the Dodgers, but just to be a better second half team and be able to position themselves for, the playoffs. With that being said, I'm going with never mind. I'm gonna take a different approach, and I'm gonna go with San Diego. San Diego for the win.
Get on board.
San Diego for the win line, and give me the over. Give me the over.
You want the over. All right. Bruce Glass wants, he said the Giants. Bruce said give him the Giants and the over. Paulie's back to play a little who you got. Paulie, who you got, or do you need me to read them lines again?
I ain't playing no who you got, man. I hate that name. Give me the Padres. Give me the Padres plus 123 on the run line, man. I'm a bank. If I'm betting Padres, I'm a bank on Juan Soto finally breaking out, man. He just gotta get comfortable. That's all. Once he gets comfortable, he's gonna get good. And you never know when that's gonna be. So I'm a bank on that being tonight. And once he do get comfortable, man, he's gonna be the straw that stirs that drink out there.
I like it, Paulie.
But they got some bats in that lineup.
I'm with you, Paulie. I'm gonna go with that minus 1.5. So I'm counting on them to bang them by two runs to collect that 123 as well. That's who we got. Y'all tell us who y'all have. Only Bruce Glass has told us who we had so far. Our next game is the Minnesota Twins. Cost me money at plus 200 for the win. Their run line is plus 1.5 for minus 110. They're playing the LA Dodgers at minus 265. At minus 1.5 on the run, minus 113. The over-under set at 8 as of right now. And that is the over is minus 121. The under is 103. The under is 103. And who you got?
So it's the Dodgers, of course. And Minnesota is barely, they just ain't even in a good division. So I can't put much stock into them, but for the sake of placing bets and cashing checks, give me that plus 200. What goes up must come down, and all that fancy stuff. I'm just going straight up win line. No, I don't know which way to go with the runs, and I stay away from the run line for the most part. So yeah, plus 200.
Plus 200. All right, Paulie, who you got?
Now, I've been betting against the Dodgers all year. And lose it.
That's your fault, player.
Lose it.
Losing, huh? And losing. So
what I'm gonna do here, take Minnesota money line.
Hey, get in that boat with me, Paul. Get the other side of cash and check.
We rolling, bro. We rolling.
We gonna cash and check.
We rolling.
He said they're bound to lose one of these. Listen, I'm just gonna take the run line for the Dodgers at minus 1.5 and 113 to 100. Say it. Let's do it, bro.
The Dodgers coming off a horrible series. Minnesota, who can't beat their shadow when they need to. Ain't no money to be made on this game. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no money to be made. If you gotta put money down this game, you're wasting your time. Because them Dodgers is playing at home and they're gonna be back and they're gonna be doing a bunch of this right here this game.
Where the ball gonna be over there? Over there?
And then they're gonna bring it back. it's gonna be a bunch of that. I looked at the pictures for this game. Joe Ryan is pitching for Minnesota. Julio Reyes is pitching for the Dodgers. Ryan, he 8-4, but he got 3.67 ERA. He giving up some home runs though. That's the thing. And he put people on base with base on balls, which is a bad thing. And Julio
Bruce Glass said, "How's it go?" Say
it.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, and so, but Julio is striking people out. So I got to go with the Dodgers, just for the straight up win. I ain't making no money. I wouldn't put no money on this right here, especially no minus 265. I'm just giving you a straight win. the Dodgers.
I got you.
Hey, that's a rich man's bet.
All right. So on Thursday, we'll be joining y'all into this game here. All right. So preseason kicks off. It actually kicked off last week on Thursday, but we have 2 games this Thursday coming up. Here's our first NFL preseason game for Thursday. We got the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots, and we got the Giants -1.5 at -114, and their win is -134. We got the spread for New England at 1.5 -112, and their win is -102. The over/under set at 34.5. Oh, I messed that up. The under is -120, and that over is -107. All right. Now I'm gonna start this off because last time I told y'all the Hall of Fame game was gonna go under because they was on a wet field and it did everything but go under. The Raiders pretty much killed that under by themselves, right? So I'm picking the over. There are touchdowns to be made here. So listen, I'm telling you right now, there are touchdowns to be made in the preseason. And I'm going with New England. I don't know where they're going to get 34 points from. I don't know where. But give me the over, please. Give me the over. And I'm going to take New England plus the 1.5 on the spread -112. So that's where I'm at with that one. Say it. Who you got?
Well, just in case y'all haven't been paying attention, the New York Giants drafted a monster out of the University of Oregon named Thibodeau. According to reports I read, Thibodeau has been unblockable in camp. So with that being said, we know the Patriots not going to start those starters because they never do. And the Giants are going to start Thibodeau for at least 2 series, maybe even 3. So you got them boys over there finna do some things. I'm gonna take them Giants. I'm gonna take them Giants on the win line, and it's gonna be under.
He's a Commanders fan, so why would you say take the Giants and you bring your little man and you bring your grandson in there when he's a Commanders fan? I'm not really understanding what's going on right here. And who you got?
I'm trying to figure out why it matters if Thibodeau is unstoppable against the New York Football Giants in practice. Don't amount to a hill of beans at all. We're going to see what he look like when he really get out there week 1, because playing against the Giants, that don't mean crap. But I do agree with the sentiment. I think this is one of the few games the Giants going to win this year.
Preseason.
and I think that we know the Patriots, they trying to figure out things. Bill Belichick is always fine-tuning, so I think that's a part of it. And I'm taking the under. I think that's a good bet. No, ain't gonna be a lot of points scored here. We can't judge that first game off of anything. So,
right.
Give me Giants. Give me the under.
We keep losing Paulie. I think he's driving through that Suffolk area where he tends to get terrible reception. Hey, let's hope he's out there safe though. And once we get Paulie in here, we'll break those down and get his picks for y'all too, as well. Kyle just hit us with some information. Kyle said the Yankees game over. Got it at 6.5, 5. The batter's going to have home runs at least 3 games. Cole, I got you. I see what you're saying, bro. You saying that they about to do some things. Oh wow. Hey, you want to know how you know when you made it big? I'm not saying that we big time or nothing like that, but y'all check the chat right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, my man wants some Juventus. The Italian League Soccer Championship League. Oh, welcome to hell, huh? Okay, well,
I was a Juventus fan when I was younger, for sure.
When you was younger, for sure, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Got it, Paulie. We got a line for you here. We got this New York Giants, New England line.
Giants money line.
Giants money line.
Paulie ain't playing. We don't know how long we gonna have him. He throw them in there quick.
He throw them in there quick. All right.
I'm over here on the Eastern Shore.
Hey, Paulie getting there. He like, I agree. Next.
All right, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. The Titans are plus 3.5.
What are these on Thursday games?
These are Thursday games. 6 and 6:30, well, 7 and 7:30. And then we got the Baltimore Ravens at minus 3.5, minus 115. Their win line is minus 186. The over under set at 31.5. The over is minus 107, and the under, again, my bad, is minus 120. Graphics department's got to get them together.
It's easy money, right? Hey, I'll go first on this one, bro.
Go for it.
Baltimore Ravens don't lose preseason games.
They do not.
Give me the Ravens money line, man. This is easy.
Ravens money line, that's minus the 186. Do you like the over or the under, or are you staying away from both of those?
Oh, give me the over.
He likes the over. See, Paulie's with me, man.
I like the over.
Points to be had in the preseason. Points to be had in the preseason.
Oh, you picked the under on the Raiders game. You learned your lesson.
Give me Tennessee because I want to see the Rook do his thing out there. I think they're gonna allow him to throw that rock around. Give me Tennessee with the win, and I don't know about that over under, man. It's hard to tell. I haven't seen him play. Give me the under.
Hey, Said, you just reminded me, man. This is our first look. This is gonna be our first look at Malik Willis. This is gonna be our first look at Malik. So yeah, I got you. But the Ravens do not lose preseason games, just like Paulie just said. But I see what you're trying to do. And who you got?
And they got to start up. They got to start as a backup quarterback.
And Huntley.
Let me buck the system. I think the backup gonna be better than the starter in Tennessee. And it's gonna this is gonna be the first start of the quarterback controversy. So I'm definitely taking the over, and I'm taking the 143 win line for the Titans. Let's go.
Well,
hey, look,
listen.
It don't matter if the backup better than the quarterback. It's gonna be a controversy any damn ways.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yep.
You know how people say. Hey, you know how people say, man, we got King Henry. Just give him the ball and bring the quarterback along slowly.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going with Baltimore as well. They're just gonna find a way to win. I'm not laying the 3.5. I'm just gonna go with the minus 186 on that right there. And those are our 4 picks for tonight. I mean, we're all happy. Football is back in our lives, and it's gonna be a really, really nice season. Let's switch back to Sam Mills Jr. real fast. We was talking communication in the way that he's working with his guys in that O-line room, right? So the relatability, the way you talk to these people, Paula, you hit on it earlier, and I just never got a chance to, follow up on it. Is you said you made a very important point, is the why. And everyone wants to know, it's not in a disrespectful way, but this is the why generation. Why am I doing this? Why do I have to put my hand here? Why do I have to do that? Could he have been just a bad communicator and relating to these guys, as to explaining that why first? This is for said.
And it could be new generation of kids. The old way of talking to players and treating players has been out the window for years. Possibly one of the same reasons that Nick Saban is no longer the head coach of Miami. Nick Saban is a control freak, like to talk to people any kind of way. He can't do that with players, with big time players, but you can do that with college players. Not saying that's the way he was doing it, but it seems to be a disconnect between Mills and some of the players along with the philosophy that he was trying to use. We're never going to be privy to exactly what had been said in those meetings, because we're not in those meetings. We can only speculate, but that seemed to be a part of it right there. I mean, just from listening to you guys, that seemed to be part of
it.
And it seems like player coach is the way to go now. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys it's a slower process when we're talking about the NFL, right? Because we understand the system and the regime and how everything is ran. Sidebar, I don't know if y'all seen what Goodell said about DeShawn today, but it's just it's like, bruh, of all the stuff that's happened in the NFL, you're calling him predatory now. So I think that with the exceptions of stuff like that, Definitely it's a league where guys want to be involved, where guys want to be communicated to, and the tide is definitely changing. I think for the better, because I think the more that we can get these guys to feel empowered, the more that we can get changes, the more that we can get some more black coaches and GMs and owners eventually 1,000 years from now. But I think it's a step in the right direction, and these guys have to understand that these are grown men, that without them, your paycheck is null and void. So,
Paulie, you was about to make a point?
Nah, I was said Nick Saban did make a player cry when he was with the Dolphins.
Hey,
but that ain't why he left, bro. Alabama threw them big bucks at him, man. That's all that was. And he didn't have a quarterback. If they would have had Drew Brees over Dante, he'd have been good. But let me say this though, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
We got you.
Yes.
Hey, this is the first time Ron said playoffs or bust wasn't a thing. Sounds like it's a thing to me. 2 weeks at the training camp, you fire an assistant coach. You know what I mean? You fire a position coach. So you feeling the pressure. It's win now. All this playoff is no such thing as playoff bust. That was bullshit. And he know it. It's win now. They got to win now. You got a new name, new uniforms. You ain't got your stadium falling apart. You're trying to get a stadium. You want the coach, the owners on the run eating. It's win now. If you're going to start turning the culture of this team around 3 to 5 years, this year 3, you know what I mean? You building the winner. You want to keep us off of your back. It's win now. And when you start letting coaches go, that sends a signal of that you realize that it's win now.
Paulie, and that's what I was about to say. This, I don't know if it's necessary, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just think it speaks more so to, like what we were talking about last show. If you're going to talk about it takes 3 to 5 to change the culture, then there isn't the right or wrong time to get rid of somebody that doesn't fit into where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like it really lends to the fact of, all right, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it now, and we're gonna make the adjustments. And then I was actually looking at what the sheepdog said, and I'm like, that philosophy thing speaks more to you don't fit into what we got going on overall. He shared his philosophy. I assure you, and all the time he was there, he shared his philosophy. But if it falls on deaf ears, it's time to get you out of here.
Well, I think that it's this. I think he has worked for Rivera for 7 years. Ron Rivera has a relationship with his father. He's known the Mills family for a very, very, very long time. So he said it was hard today for him to fire Sam Mills III, right? Why was it hard for him to fire him? It's because of how long the relationship has gone. And yeah, you can know somebody for a while, but he was not getting the best out of a room full of 4 first-rounders. So for you to say it's a philosophy thing, no, it's you're not doing your job thing. You have 4 first-rounders in your room. You have more first-rounders in your room than we have on the whole team. And they suck.
I disagree with that. They don't suck. It wasn't about getting the best out of them. I think it's too much contention going on. They need to have a season with no distractions. If we was 11-6 last year, and the year before that we was 12-4 or 13-3, and you had this same contention going on with him, that man would still have a job right now. You know what I mean? And the defensive line wasn't bad last year. Did we get the most out of Montez Sweat and Chase Young? No, we didn't. But that wasn't just all about the D-line coach. That was about the defense in the whole. The defense in the whole was horrible. You know what I mean? So this is more or less about, we can't have this contention. Everybody has to be on the same accord. You know what I mean? When we on that field, when we practicing and we on that field, we need to have harmony up and down the sideline. Because we can't afford, we're not good enough to get over this type of stuff right now.
You know what I mean? It's like when I told. It's like what I said about the Cowboys last week or whatever. When I said their talent was so immense that it overtook the bad culture. Well, we haven't got to that point yet where our talent is so good that we can overcome a bad culture.
I'm trying to understand. Hold on. I'm trying to understand what the heck Sheepdog is talking about.
Well, he's talking about the 3 to 5 years for the culture. He said, "Duh, it took Brady 1 season for the Bucs."
Yeah, but Tom Brady doesn't, and the Bucs don't fit into nothing we're talking about with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
we're talking about a defense.
3 to 5 years.
But more than that, we're talking about the GOAT when it comes to throwing a football and winning in a winning mindset. And then we talk about a defense. Everything was primed for him to just step in and execute. Exactly. It doesn't correlate. So that point is just not good, respectfully.
I like when you say correlate. You usually get that in once a show. You usually get that in once a show.
What is going on here? Pause.
Football is football. Football is football. But you got to understand, and you're in DC, so you know that the culture was bad. We had a terrible owner for one. Our GM Bruce Allen was a terrible guy. He always wanted cheap players. He wanted to win the deals. Main reason why we don't have Kirk Cousins as our quarterback right now because Kirk wanted out. The reason that we don't have Brandon Sheriff right now is because Brandon Sheriff wanted out. He saw that coming.
Do you want Kirk Cousins though?
We should have signed Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins really should be our quarterback right now. We shouldn't have a revolving door at quarterback. We shouldn't have had 8 quarterbacks in the last 4 years. But Kirk Cousins didn't want to sign, and he's gone. So we had bad culture from the top down. From the top down, we've had bad culture, and he's saying those are excuses. Well, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is.
What is excuses?
The Kirk Cousins, the Brandon Sheriff,
it's
terrible record.
Exactly what we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks.
A bad culture.
It's a horrible culture. You can't win. Paulie just said it. If you got some talent, but they're not the Ray Lewis and Ed. What's his name? Ed Reeds of the world. You're not gonna win. And it has to correlate on both sides of the ball.
Right.
So even if you got Kirk Cousins at quarterback, because we're kind of seeing it in Minnesota, that's still not enough.
Listen, you
for
had
this team.
So
what is the
Pierre
excuse
Garçon.
here, Sheepdog? I just don't argue for the sake of arguing.
Pierre Garçon told Jay Gruden, "I'm not running that stupid fade route," and he would call a play that had Pierre running a fade route. And Pierre would not leave the line of scrimmage in a game. This is in a game. You can go back, YouTube it. This is the Green Bay game. We're playing Green Bay with Kirk Cousins as quarterback, and it's right before the half, and Kirk Cousins is stuck with the ball in his hand, and he has to just eat it because Pierre told him, "I'm not running that route." That
was the Philadelphia game, the game before the division.
That's right. Yeah, thank you for the correction, Paulie.
Paulie, question real quick. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins still as your quarterback?
Hell no.
No, that's not what I said. Yeah, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
I'm not saying you said that, but I
don't feel like
that was a bad move. I don't feel like you should have signed him long term. You want
that was a great. No.
Throws up like Willie Beeman in important games. Like you don't want Kirk.
See, that one thing we agree on, buddy. But hell no, man. If there's somebody signing him for reasonable money, yeah, but not for what he got.
Right.
Look, he's been a demise. Bro, we ain't even talk about Kirk Cousins, man. Ain't nobody. It show you how he fly under the radar, man. All these past, this the first week we haven't heard Kirk Cousins news, but the prior 2 weeks to that, you hear Mike Zimmer didn't like him. Then they're showing all these films of him and Zimmer going after each other on the sideline. So the coach got fired, right? Stephon Diggs wanted to trade out of Minnesota because he didn't like him. He had to apologize
what's my man, the other receiver? Thielman? Thielman. What's his name? Thielson. Yeah, Thielen. He had to apologize to Thielen on his own radio show because Thielen had a problem with him. Right? None of the receivers here in Washington that was there, Garcon, Jackson, none of them liked him. You know what I mean? At the end, Jay Gruden didn't like him. You know what I mean? But they want to say people like Cam Newton is a bad teammate. They want to say Carson Wentz is a bad teammate. But this guy's getting the golden pass. Like, no, I don't want Kirk Cousins. I don't like Kirk Cousins. He nuts up in the clutch. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Do you look, like man, that?
This is a whole nother show.
Yes,
all y'all don't know me, know how I feel about Kirk Cousins, and no, this is a whole other show. But I really wanted to. You threw me off with that one. Hold on, and I'm only hold on. But my man Sheepdog talking. Let's forget it again. Talking about Tom Brady to change the culture. Bro, Tom Brady struggled like the first 8-9 games of that season, trying to pick up their culture. So come on, man. It's always going to be when you go to that's like with Carson Wentz. He's gonna struggle a little bit early on, but you gotta hope he can stay afloat. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you learn how to swim and you tread in water. You tread in water, and then one day you start doing the backstroke and the breaststroke. You know what I mean? The butterfly. You know what I mean? So it's always a learning curve anytime you go to any organization.
Facts. Hey, let's move on to our new defensive line coach, Jeff Scanini. Yes, I got that right. Wrote it down phonetically, fellas. Listen, Jeff Scanini's been an NFL coach for 7 years. He did time with the San Francisco 49ers where he coached a defensive tackle named DeForest Buckner. Took my man from 3 sacks to 12 sacks. Ant was going to tell you that he was just along for the ride. In 2016, he was with the New York Giants. He helped a young man by the name of Damon Harris register a career-high in sacks. I said, hey, this guy did something with one of the premier pass rushers by the name of J.J. Watt when he was in 2013 down in Houston. And we all know who J.J. Watt is. And Ant, go ahead. Go for it. Kill me, bro.
I mean, I think that's valid to a certain degree. But we could all just be honest and look at the career of J.J. Watt outside of the numerous injuries and understand that J.J. Watt was going to be a freak of nature regardless. Not trying to take away from this guy, especially with him having a history of playing and bouncing around in the NFL. That doesn't take away from who he could be or who he is as a coach, because we know most of the guys that are excellent at coaching could never get it done on the field. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the first good thing. But on the other side of it, I hope he's not the guy. I mean, you know, just come in and do what you do, keep him middle of the road so we can do what we do, and we'll be fine. But
like a true hater.
I don't understand nothing you talking about right now. What the hell are you talking about, man?
Hey, you know I gotta slide something in there.
Come on, bro. This ain't even. Go ahead, man.
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, this the whole thing with this guy. I ain't gonna sit here and hype him up about who he's coaching, what he did for whatever. Because that's the case, he would have had a D-line coach somewhere. Right. You know what I mean? Like I said, he knows the system. You know what I mean? Like you said, he has a resume. Let's just say that. He has a resume. He knows the system. He knows the players. You know what I mean? And he's seen what Mills Jr. did wrong. That's the key thing. He's seen what didn't work. You know what I mean? So let's move forward here. Let's not make a big deal out of it. We're just talking about the D-line coach. At the end of the day, Jack Del Rio is the head of that defense, the defensive coordinator. So really, he should have got that stuff nipped in the bud from the beginning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I said, to me, this is more on Ron sending the message to his staff amongst anything that we got to get these things. We got to get stuff right this year. You know what I mean? And it starts with us. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, he was an easy guy to pluck out just off the fact that for 3 years we've been hearing the contention that goes on in the D-line, in the meeting rooms, and sitting on the sidelines and things of such. So that's what I'm taking about it. I mean, Coach Z, I'm going to just call you Z because I ain't even going to attempt to try to butcher your name.
because you know the butcher be coming for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna call you Coach Z. Coach Z, you know, I hope you do your job. I hope you see what didn't work and learn from that. Let's go.
Hey, we're gonna call him Coach 40. Coach 40. He wore number 40 when he played at Purdue. So we're gonna call him Coach 40 because it's Scanini. Scanini, right?
Hey, his mama called him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
There you go. We'll call him Clay. Say it. What you got, man? What you got for Coach 40?
I mean, the guy's a proven product on the field. I mean, he's played the game. He's played for a few teams. He also has a Super Bowl ring. Kind of what
Paulie said. He played 17 years.
Yeah, kind of what Paulie said. I was saying earlier that he made the old coach may have been a scapegoat for the defensive coordinator.
Del Rio.
Because Del Rio is calling the plays that they're putting into perspective. Because one of the things I told Pick earlier was, yeah, the guy's a defensive line coach. What if the defensive coordinator is calling a play that has the defensive line dropping back into a zone? That takes away from what the defensive line coach had been teaching. But again, we won't find out until we get out there in the field and they put pads on and it's live action, not preseason, live action, and then we'll see. We'll see if Del Rio is applying some of the techniques that he's learning from old boy. Are they coming together? Or there is we just doing my way in the highway.
I got you.
That's essentially what we're going to find out.
And that doesn't, I mean, I would like to think that these guys are working together to scheme during the week. I don't think it comes as a surprise, the system that they're going to put in place during the game. So it's like, if he knows that the strength is rushing of the line is rushing the quarterback, I don't think it's a surprise. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that they're necessarily not lined up. I think he had to be fully on board or whatever was going on with the play calling. But we know this though. We know that Jack got to say whatever he had to say. He wanted to say earlier on Twitter or whatever outlet that he said it on, and nothing happened besides a little measly fine. So we should have known he wasn't going to take no real hit. That if he was the guy that was supposed to get fired, he should have got fired a long time ago. So much for that. A lot of guys are going to take the hits, but it does line up for you guys to say, okay, if the defense underperforms this year, he got to be real.
Jack Del Rio's got to be gone. He's got to be out of there.
Hey, listen. If you got a defensive line coach, right? You got a defensive line coach coaching defensive ends, but you got your defensive ends playing de facto outside linebackers, and they don't get the job done. Who's to blame on that? The defensive line coach or the defensive coordinator in that position? To me,
we lose you again,
You're breaking up, Paulie.
You breaking up bad. Hang in there, drive through it. I think what Paulie's trying to say is who's the blame? Is it not
That's
yet?
A little bit better.
There you go. Let's try it now.
Now, so like I said, who's to blame on that? You know, you got a guy teaching a position that the players are not used to playing. So at the end of the day, I don't really think it was that. I just think it was about communication. It's too much contention between him and the players, and that comes from lack of communication. Like, man, you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. I'm a grown ass man. You know what I mean? Right. So that's I really think that's what's going on here. It's just a contention of it all.
I feel you. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you like this: at the end of the season, at the end of the year, 7-9 could not have been your goal last year. And they came back with the exact same coaching staff with no changes. Doc Walker sat right here on the podcast and told us this last year. He said, you didn't make the playoffs and you brought back your entire staff. What team does that? Every team that doesn't make the playoffs changes something to get better, to improve their team. Nobody runs it all the way back, and we ran it all the way back, all the way up until right before our first preseason game. So the next thing that happened today is all teams got to put out an unofficial depth chart. As y'all looked across the depth chart, did y'all see anybody with a wake-up call next to their name where they should have been 3rd or 4th on the depth chart, and they find themselves 5th or 6th on the depth chart. Or they may have thought they was 1st on the depth chart, and they find themselves at 2nd on the depth chart behind some unknown rookie, or not an unknown rookie, but behind a rookie draft pick. Did y'all see anything like that? Because for the Commanders, what I've seen is I see one Jared Patterson listed as 5th behind Jonathan Williams, who Paulie loves. Paulie loves Jonathan Williams, where he said that he would wind up making the practice squad because we know we can bring him back and we would keep Jared Patterson. But Jared Patterson's name is at 5th. And a name that we keep hearing coming out of the Washington Commanders is Curtis Hodges. And Hodges is 5th on the depth chart as far as tight ends, and Sammy Reyes is the 4th tight end right now. But have y'all, as y'all looked around y'all depth chart, have y'all seen anything like that?
I'll say no. I mean, the facts are the facts. I mean, some of it is not even being funny, but you win the division. Some would argue in this case, it's actually not worth making many changes. Dak Prescott's still your quarterback. Your head coach is still your head coach. It's too early with the unofficial, but I didn't see anything that wasn't a surprise. All the draft picks are still there. I'll be interested to see what we'll do at receiver. If we're gonna go for a veteran move, if we're gonna bring back a guy like Dez, even. There was a little talks about Odell worked out with Dez, and he was saying he still can play and he should be signed to a roster. I'm one of those guys. I think it would be a good story just for him to come back and play some games. I think it'll be a good way for him to officially close his career. But nothing on that roster surprised me from what I saw thus far.
Say it.
And from what I saw from the Atlanta Falcons depth chart, they basically set it up to just show that a lot of starters aren't going to play. They had the number 1 draft pick on reserve. They had the guy who was in front of Gage last year is in a starting position, Hodges. So I mean, kind of the same thing Ann just said. It's unofficial.
Right.
I think I think they just put something out there so people could see. Okay, this is what we got on the team so far. Yada yada yada. Like I said, I use wide receiver for a perfect example. Drake, I think Drake was at reserve. They had like 5 wide receivers listed, and he was on the reserve side of it. He wasn't in the starting positions anywhere. So I mean, it just may be just a form to say, okay, here's a depth chart for you guys.
This is what we got to do right now. Yeah. And we just put it out here just to put it out here.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what it looks like.
All right. So the like I said, the reason why I was asking this question is because, a lot of us here and Commanders fans, we get excited over we find that one rookie, we hold on to it. And last year's rookie happened to be Jared Patterson and Sammis Reyes. Sammis is behind Cole Turner and John Bates and Logan Thomas, as he should be. Can
I say something before you go too far?
Yeah.
On one of the depth charts I showed that I looked at, they had Logan Thomas still listed as out.
Well, that was earlier, and I think that's under the PUP. Under this the unofficial depth charts that are out, you're allowed to list everybody. It doesn't mean that you're you playing or you ready to go or anything like that. It's just you just giving that order of where they are, and then
Roger that. And I think we lost pick. Oh,
no, we didn't lose me. We didn't lose me. I'm looking at the sheepdog.
Hey, stop moving.
I mean,
sheepdog is on it today.
Maybe listen. The thing with that is the NBA is a whole different animal. And I argued this, by the way, sheepdog, but they swear to me that the players called all the shots and they're always going to call all the shots because it's the NBA. And I thought that was just asinine and egregious because it doesn't make sense. You look at 1 year, Brooklyn was a couple inches away from making the NBA Finals to getting swept the next year. And it shows me that it's not justified for these players to tell you what they can do and to say that they can coach themselves. It was one of the dumbest things Kyrie could have ever said. But as long as they're calling these, as long as they're making the money that they're making, and they get to roll out the red carpet for these guys, they're going to continue to do this. Don't be surprised. Now, only thing I wish is that the NFL players had the same type of cachet, because I think it would make for some better changes in the NFL.
Exactly.
But
the NBA is a players' league. It's a players' league, right? Because literally, and I can tell you this from personal experience. When we saw down here, my family, we love sports all the way around. We go to everything: baseball, football, NASCAR, when they coming down to the Texas Motor Speedway. But when Dallas Mavericks drafted Luka, my son was like, "Dad, let's get some tickets to go see what this rookie can do." Right? I'm just saying.
They didn't draft Luka. It was a draft day trade.
Yeah, it was a trade. It was a trade.
Negative. Right. I'm not giving Dallas credit for that. Nope.
Okay, we drafted Trae Young. Okay, come on.
Yeah, it was a trade. But the point being is it's player dominated. We see the players right now. We play fantasy football for the NFL, right? We play fantasy football because it's no loyalty tied to these dudes. They contracts not guaranteed, none of that. Where they could cut them, don't care. It's contracts are fake. Look at what the Rams did all season. They kicked the can down the road, brought back their whole team, signed everybody, and we all sit here like, how did they do that? But with the NBA, it's different. The players run the league because you see the players' faces. You know what players will come out and perform. You know what they're going to do because they have to. It's only 12 of them.
Right.
And to speak to his next comment, I mean, what do you want to do? You want to go back into basketball abyss and be irrelevant in a market that is already dominated by New York? The New York Knicks, they already, with Kyrie and Durant, they're still second best. So you have to do everything that you can to keep Durant and keep him happy, if that's possible. I personally don't think it's hard to keep him happy, but you got to understand that when you make a move like getting Kyrie, or you sign those guys in free agency and you don't put anybody around them, you can't account for what Kyrie did and not playing because of the lack of the shot. You can't, you also can't account for Durant's first year there with the Achilles. You know what I'm saying? The best bet for them to do is stay the course, try to get one or two more players to make them more viable, and get the right coach in there. Forget Steve Nash. Forget trying to let these guys do what they want to do. And I mean, think about it, guys. If we go old school, and I understand the same rules apply in the NBA as the NFL. It's still gonna be the players call the shots on a lot of that stuff. So if you look back, the thing that took Jordan to the next level was Phil. The thing that took Kobe to the next level was Phil. You got to get a guy in there that they respect, even if they don't like you. It doesn't matter how much of a superstar you are. If you can't submit yourself under the right coaching, it doesn't equal success. That's just the bottom line, guys. If you look at Phoenix, if you look at Golden State, if you look at now the Mavericks, if you look at Boston, those guys have coaches that they respect, that no X's and O's, and that can get the job done. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. Steve Nash, a lot of time on the sideline doing this. You can't do anything with that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just, of course he has him by him, because if he's not there, nobody cares about Brooklyn even less.
Last question.
Hold on. Let me say something real quick, man. I'm not. Yeah, what you're saying about Nash is right. I think Nash is a little bit over his head and all that, but KD knew this coming into that situation. And the real problem is Kyrie wasn't on the court. Period.
Absolutely.
Kyrie wasn't on the court.
Absolutely.
Period. All right, and KD's looking for a scapegoat. That's all. And what he did today was he really left them guys no choice, because you can't fire the coach and the general manager this close to the season. they go to training camp in what, October?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's almost September. You're not going to make that move 3 months outside of the season. Now, maybe the coach you probably could get away with, you know what I mean? But not the coach and the general manager. So he basically just saying, like, I don't care what's going on with y'all. I don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with this Kyrie situation no more. You know what I mean? Because at some point, Kyrie is going to tell them the same thing, get me out of here. You know what I mean? Look, them two talk to each other. Look, they'll have each other's back more than they're going to have management's back. And I don't care how many rings, or Steve Nash don't have any rings. I don't care how long he played in the league and how many MVPs he got and all this. He's no longer a player. He's management. You know what I mean? So that's all it's all about, man. Kyrie, he can't count on Kyrie. In the back of his mind, he knows this. And he don't have, like you say, a strong head coach that can overcome the fact that, you know, he's not going to have Kyrie on a consistent basis.
And this is in this case, I actually feel for him a little bit, because I believe those guys were thick as thieves, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And to
KD and Hart was at the Travis Scott concert, so you know. And
to be fair, he never threw Kyrie under the bus.
He's not going to.
Huh?
He said he's not going to.
He's not going to.
And I respect that so much, but I think in this instance, you gotta call the shots, because I think it's a possibility that he still stays, even if Kyrie ends up going to LA. You know what I'm saying? But if you didn't look, if you were gonna set a precedent that you weren't gonna let him dictate, you should have did that from the very beginning by putting the coach that you wanted and getting the players that you wanted. You didn't do that, so now you set yourself up for that, player league or not. You see what I'm saying? Like that's just my thought. But
they thought they had the coach they wanted, because they thought Steve Nash was gonna bring this running gun style of basketball that was going to be exciting and have Brooklyn rocking, and you know, so they thought they had the coach they wanted. They just didn't know how inept Steve Nash was as a coach. And, you know what I mean? What they thought they had was a baby Steve Kerr. That's what they really thought they was bringing to Brooklyn.
Which he doesn't have a winning pedigree like that. Like what they did in Phoenix was cool, but it didn't equate to anything close to championships. Now, and the thing with that is that running gun that fit Kyrie more than it fit KD, and the only reason it really worked in Golden State is because they had the players around him and they had the coach. So you're missing a lot of key components from hoping that it was going to be a replication.
Not even that. He stepped into on a train that was already rolling. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't even the system. That train was already off the track. That train was already moving, man. So it was easy for him to just fit himself right in there where they trying to get out the gates in Brooklyn, man. That's all. Hey, but you know what? It is what it is. It's the NBA, and the players run the league. So he'll get out of there eventually. It's just not going to be when he wanted to be. That's all. Look somewhere around the All-Star break before the trade deadline. He'll suit back up with them.
Exactly, Paulie, because he signed that contract and it went into effect a couple of weeks ago.
Right. So when teams start,
they decide whether or not they want to hold on to him for dear life or make him sit himself down. So he's getting paid.
And to answer your question, Sheepdog, yes, I respect him for that. What is that gonna do for you? What is calling out Kyrie gonna do? Is it gonna make him come back? Is it? And let's just be honest. This ain't the old school no more. So
well, you know what it does do?
Friends, huh?
You know what it does do? It shows that you are the leader of that team, and that we're about winning. Because you know who would call a player? You know who would call Kyrie out like that? Kobe Bean Bryant.
LeBron would.
No.
But
LeBron won't. LeBron won't. Kobe Bean Bryant would. Who?
Not the same mentality. KD's never been that guy. That's why he never said nothing. That's why he never said nothing to Westbrook.
Listen, he never been that guy, but that's what they brought him there for, to be that guy. That's what he sold them on, that he was that guy. But I agree with you. I agree with you. He's never been that guy.
And I don't disagree with what you're saying, but they brought him there to put baskets in the hoop, period. That's what he's done. He's not finna be this rah-rah guy. He's never been that. That's why he let. That's also why he let what's the guy that cussed him and called him out his name, talk crazy to him? Draymond. You let Draymond talk to you like you was a little boy. That's just not who he is. So if they believed that he was going to do that, they're foolish from the very beginning.
Yeah,
he was the leader. He was the leader by proxy.
The one thing he is he get on the floor and he give you everything he got all day, every day.
That's all he gonna do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if y'all thinking he's finna be this leader, it's not happening.
Let me say this real quick. The tarantula is bad, but let me say this real quick. I'm about to lose you off about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going back the way I just came. So if I'm out of there, hell to the W, man.
Hell to the W, Paulie. Listen, we're about to step to the side anyway, but I had one more question for y'all real fast. The league is pretty much set on DeShawn Watson being out this year. Fair or unfair? Just real fast for you, Paulie. Fair or unfair?
Look like he got
We lost him. Yeah, we lost.
Football God said unfair, goddammit.
Oh, okay.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did now, yeah. All right, unfair. And fair or unfair?
Retarded. Is that a better one? Just stupid.
That's a better one.
Very unfair. Very pot calling the kettle black. Very just not the move. It's not fair, bro.
Say it.
I'm in total agreement. It's unfair.
Unfair.
You can't appoint somebody who you wanted to look at the outside information, then give you an answer. You don't like their answer, so now you want to come back and get somebody else to look at it so you can get the answer that you want, because it's going to a different judge now.
It shows it was a crap show from the beginning.
Yep.
Y'all just want to make it appear like you're trying to be fair to these players and take your hand out the cookie jar. But even his comment shows that he's so in bed with those owners that I don't even think he really believes that. But I think that if he wants to keep getting broke off the way he's getting broke off, because he got one of the best jobs in America. Let's be clear. That he's gonna echo what those owners are saying, or at least one of those owners is saying about this situation. So
DUI. Marshawn Lynch arrested for a DUI.
Man, Marshawn Lynch is out the league.
Yeah, he good. He enjoying his life now.
He is totally enjoying his life. Listen. We call it an OG classic because we get in and we get out. Don't y'all forget to like and subscribe to the First String Podcast. Make sure y'all download us on all your audio listening platforms: Apple, Spotify, Anchor. We're everywhere where there's air. So get in there, listen to us, leave a review. Don't forget to hit that like button and enable notifications and alerts. Paulie already gave you his hail to the W. So only things left is for me to hit this outro. Say it unless you got something to say.
Go Dogs.